You're going to love it.
Topics we got to get to real quick, though.
Yeah. In 20 years,
On a
you're
more
gonna
serious
appreciate
note,
That's right.
the charges against Perrion Winfrey were dismissed. He was facing a misdemeanor assault charge. You can take graphic full. He completed a pretrial conversion program, and according to Harris County court documents, the charges have been dismissed. Walks away empty-handed.
What was he accused of doing again? I don't even remember.
Misdemeanor assault on a girl he was dating.
Caused bodily injury during an argument with a woman he was dating.
All right, listen.
There you go.
Here's the bottom line. I'll say, for me, guys, the same thing I've been saying, that I for years I had one opinion on this, and a few years ago I changed my mind. I've been saying this consistently since Deshaun Watson. To me, if the guy's allowed to play, he's allowed to play. I separate the player from the person. I can think a player's a scumbag and still root for him to win. You can decide not to do that. You do whatever the hell you want. Now, I don't know enough about this case to know what really happened. But if he can play, then okay, the Browns don't have to cut. They're not cutting him or anything. But I will say this. Perrion Winfrey ain't Deshaun Watson. Perrion Winfrey's just a guy. And if he doesn't get his shit together soon, his ass is going to be kicked to the curb.
Hey, man, listen.
And it's all about football.
Hey, you did what you needed to do before that, but just take it with a grain of salt and say, look, you got an opportunity to really lock in now. And hopefully, this is a wake-up call. And even if nothing really happened or you didn't get charged, it gives you an opportunity to reevaluate what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Really lock in and understand, like, okay, I got, I'm not going to say I got a get out of jail free card, but he did what he needed to do according to the law and according to the courts. But you got to realize you got an opportunity here to do something great and to feed your family and your kids and take care of your family. And so you don't got to go back to those situations where you came from. So at the end of the day, lock in, bro. Take it, like, don't squander the opportunity. Yeah. Lock in. They brought in 97 D tackles.
I was just going to say that. The Browns, if I remember correctly, have added 6 defensive linemen between free agency and the draft, I believe. I think it's 6. It might even be 7. If you're any defensive lineman on this roster that was here before this year besides Myles Garrett, your job's on the line. And you got to think of it that way. And if you don't play in mini camp and training camp and preseason, like your job's on the line, well, you're going to lose your job.
And he can't get hurt. No hurt. All that. Yeah. And you got to be on the field. That's the thing. He put himself behind the 8 ball. Now he got to play over his ability to now be like counted on.
We got no patience for him.
The charges were dismissed because he completed a diversion program. They weren't dismissed because there was a lack of evidence or because they were dismissed because he went through whatever program. So that's number one. Number two, I agree with you. I wrote that after they signed Kareem Hunt. If you're upset with the Browns for signing Kareem Hunt, blame the league, because once the league says he's eligible, what are you going to do? You're either going to sign the guy or another team's going to sign him and use him to beat you, and then you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
So which is
that's it?
But in the case of a guy like Perrion Winfrey, the juice isn't worth the squeeze as far as I'm concerned. There's maturity issues there. We've talked about it before. The smoke that's out there around him in terms of like things that happened at Oklahoma, not all of it's even come to light, of just some of the things that he's been involved in the past. He's not worth it to me. No. I think that they've brought enough players that are as good or better than him. I thought he did show a little something last year, and thought, he's got some growing up to do. Let's see how he handles himself. Well, this is how he handles himself. He got in trouble again.
Yeah.
And again, the charges weren't dismissed because of lack of evidence. They were dismissed because he completed a program. He's not worth it to me. I would move on.
And, Andrew Berry has – a lot of people have complained, myself included, that he has been unwilling to cut his own draft picks, right? Last year he finally cut one of his own draft picks. But it's possible that 2 guys from last year's draft, Perrion Winfrey and David Bell, could both be cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. And I actually think that's a sign of a healthy organization.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because not everyone should
realize you made a mistake. Especially you don't want to do that happening all the time.
Right.
But sometimes you got to realize you made a mistake and move on.
And that means that you have a lot of talent on the roster. If you have 5th and 6th round picks, 4th, 5th round, 6th round picks making the team every year, that shows a lack of talent.
That's true.
It's actually the other way.
You know what that shows? I've been preaching it forever. Finally, maybe y'all will come around. I've been telling y'all there are seasons where people don't actually be trying to win. Last year was a gentleman's punt. The indictment is you went out there with Schwartz, Bell, Winfrey, Togiai, and brought nobody in. So now your job's on the line.
That's right.
Now listen, keep that same energy. Now you did an overhaul the D-line. All of a sudden, David Bell went from somebody from Purdue we thought we could really. Now all of a sudden they talk about him getting cut. That just goes to show you. Last year when Deshaun Watson got 11 games, they said, gentlemen's punt, we ain't signing nobody. We're going to roll all of this over and do whatever it takes. And now, okay, some people can say that you should do that because you weren't going to win anyway. However, when you lose a year, it puts you behind the 8-ball, boo. Now you got 6-7 games,
right.
And it's kind of it's nip and tuck.
Everybody's job is on the line, not only these players, but the coach and the GM as well.